this episode of Fun with Cars, Fun with Garage Door Springs, I'm going to show you how I fixed, temporarily, a broken garage door spring. Garage door technicians all over the world, your heads are about to explode. On this episode of Fun with Cars, I'm going to show you how I temporarily fixed my broken garage door spring to get my garage to work till my new springs arrive. We got a broken garage door spring that I had to order new springs because our local garage door companies were pretty much useless when trying to get parts on a Saturday. So what I'm going to try to do for a temporary repair, because this section broke off, I'm going to rethread that shorter spring onto this fitting and then maybe shorten the other spring that's not broken to the same length and then put it in temporarily. Don't try this at home. This is what I'm doing for my situation while I'm waiting for the new springs to arrive. Big pair of channel locks. I try using a drift and a hammer to drive this thing back, but I'm using a pair of big channel locks to unwind the spring from the bracket. I can't show it and hold the tools, but trust me, it did start to move, and we'll get that unwound. This didn't work, so I took a grinder and I ground some grooves in there, built some heat in that spring, see if I could unwind it now. Okay, that method seems to be gaining some positive movement, so we're going to take some automatic transmission fluid and just soak this in where the spring goes, and see if I'm using a drift to unwind it. So I'll see if I can get that off here. Got that about one turn off using the drift. Adding some lubricant, it spins off. It looks like it's coned so that the spring stops. So we're going to take the broken spring. I'm going to clean this up, take the broken spring and thread it in there. You can see where the spring's supposed to stop right there. That's what I'm doing. Okay, I used a wire wheel and wire brush that all off. Leave it lubricated. I'm going to put some grease on there, and then we're going to thread the broken spring on there. Alright, I'm sure there's some garage door tech out there cringing right now, but I put a screwdriver in there to separate that. That's the fractured part of the spring. We're going to take a grinder, not putting too much heat in, just trim that square, and then put a little bevel in there, so when I thread it on, it should go on all the way. It's square as can be. I clean that up, try not to hit the rest of the spring to weaken it, so we're going to thread that on there now. Pretty much seated. Yeah, it's not going to be great, but we're just trying to get it out of a bind right now till the new springs arrive. I took the spool off on the right side, and I got tension on the cable, just light tension, and holding it in place while I get the springs set up. In the middle, I'll get the springs bolted. A couple of tips. This is not a how to install garage door springs. There's plenty of those videos out there. This is just how I'm getting by temporarily. The wrong way. Do not take my advice. This is what I'm doing. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of problems here, but anyways, the one thing I ran into, the cable, when it came off the pulley, went on the outside of that bracket. Make sure if you're working on your garage door, make sure that cable stays in its home. Also, this bar, I never took the right pulley off, so I had kind of a reference. This bar slid out. I had to adjust that so it's even. I have tension, just a little bit of tension on here to get everything snug before I start tightening the springs. This side, I have. Yeah, it's not quite the same. I might put a little more tension in that because I think the starting tension on those cables should be equal to avoid any problems. So now I'm going to start torquing the tension spring. Yeah. I'm going to start tightening the springs, the torsion springs. Let's start with the non-broken spring, and they said 27 to 30 is the correct tension on that, so we're going to use my 3/8 extension to put E flats on the end going upwards to put tension on the right spring first, obviously wearing eye protection and staying far clear of that spring if it breaks. At 30 quarter turns in that spring, sorry for the shakiness, that gives me some tension in this cable. Both cables should have equal tension. Yeah, it sounds right now. Because the spring is shorter, I'm not going to put the same amount of turns in this spring because the spring rate's different. Shorter spring, I would think more tension, so we'll probably do, I got to see the length that came out of it. The non-broken spring is about 30.5 inches. That's a guesstimate, just holding it up here. Now we'll see what the broken spring is. Broken spring's about 24, so I got to do the math on this, but I'm going to put in, so I put 30 quarter turns on the non-broken spring. I'm going to put 24 turns on the spring that is shorter. See how that works. Okay, so that was about 30 inches, a little over. This one is about 24 inches, same wire size, they were the same springs. I guess when it got to 10,001 cycles, you know, finally broke. But I put 30 quarter-inch turns on the tension on this side and 24 quarter-inch turns on this side because it's shorter and the spring tension changes with the length of the spring. So now I had this disengaged. I had this disengaged the whole time. The garage door, I could hear once I took my tension off this, I could hear the garage door, you know, kind of just tension up off of the seal on the bottom. So I got my eye protection on. I'm going to stand far clear. We're going to engage this first, and then we're going to see if it goes up. The engagement. Staying clear. Well, that worked. See if it goes back down. Well, definitely sketch, but it worked. So, if your garage door spring breaks and you need a temporary repair, I will put the link in the description for the springs that I bought for my garage door. One tip for everyone that has a broken spring: the wire diameter and the length of the spring are critical mass. The length of the wire, you know, from end to end, and the wire diameter is what makes the spring work for your garage door. So if yours breaks, this is what I did. I'm not suggesting anyone does this because, you know, you got spring tension. This is a dangerous operation, but that was the first try up and down. Let's see if it'll do it again. All right, let's see if this works. All right, see if it goes back down. All right, so my temporary repair on my broken garage door spring seems to be working. It should work for another, I don't know, 20 cycles till I get the new springs off Amazon. I'll put the link in the description for my particular 16-foot garage door that's insulated. Your garage door, if you ever try to do something like this, will vary. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.